Good evening, my dear senior parents and students. Today actually was a wonderful day. The first day that we've been fully open for in-person instruction, actually in 18 months. Now, I know that I've seen many of you. I saw you at Christmas, Black History. Some of you participated in the hybrid program. Some of you were very helpful in our graduation, but not for full in-person instruction. And so when we made the introductions to our teachers of our current freshman class, I thought, well, really, I thought about 3 years ago when you were freshmen. But it's time now for us to reopen and to welcome you back on Monday. But what I'd like to do, parents, if there are questions that I do not answer, would you put them on the chat? And I'm surrounded by administrators who can answer the questions. And so Dr. Levy is here, Mrs. Blazette, Mr. Thomas, Mr. Lane, Mr. Evans. And so I don't think that there's anything that collectively we cannot answer. But one of the things that I've been asked all week is, what does a day at Southland look like now? What does it feel like? What is going to be the process? But everyone that comes in the building will take their temperature. I do that every day. If I pass by security, they tell me, Dr. Davis, you weren't cleared. And so I go back. But this will be our process. But this has actually been our process for an entire year. We haven't been doing anything differently. Every day when we come in, no matter how many times we go in and out of the building, we take our temperatures to make sure that no one is entering the building with a fever. But you will also be coming into a building where in the spring, we put a new bioionization filtering system so that we would not be bringing pollutants in. And it filters 98% of those things that are harmful to us. I'm not necessarily saying COVID because I don't know that it's out there in the air, but I do know that there are all kinds of pollutants that make people ill in terms of eyes and people that have sinus problems, people that have allergies. And so we're filtering every bit of air that comes into the building. But another question that people had, what about lunch? We're serving hot meals, but we are not having that wonderful, wonderful salad bar that our seniors loved or an open buffet. All of our meals are covered and they're presented to our students with a plastic covering. They remove the plastic covering. I think that's the best thing for us to do in terms of sanitation. But last year also, we were prohibited from using our lockers. And I think that you're aware of that. If you came into the building for any reason, you saw that all the lockers were open. They'd been sanitized. We were told to leave them open, but we now have permission to begin this school year with the use of lockers. So I anticipate within the next 2 weeks, we'll begin that process. But what we're really looking at this point, we don't want to dismiss everyone at the same time. And so in assigning lockers, we're looking at ways that we can assign lockers so that everyone is not in the hall at the same time. But I think that even though everyone will have Chromebooks, and Mr. Evans will talk about the class books that he has loaded onto the Chromebooks, I think that it's best that we have as normal a day as possible. And in a high school, everyone uses lockers. Hand sanitizers have been the case for the past year. And as you go into any room in Southland, I'm looking at one now, I'm in the boardroom, there are hand sanitizers available to all students. Something a little different, I think. All of our water fountains are turned off. And in place of using the water fountain, which, you know, some people get a little too close to the water spigot and touch it, you're going to see cases and cases of water. And so we want to make sure that all of our students are hydrated, but we also want to make sure that everything that we can possibly do to make sure it's safe. And so it's a little odd when you go down the hallway and you see water fountains covered, But then I think it's kind of comforting underneath to see bottles and bottles of water. Right now, we're sitting on 5,000 bottles of water. We're prepared to order more, but I think that it's the right thing to do, but it is a little odd. I stopped at a water fountain today in the field house and simply picked up my bottle of water. So that's the new way. And I guess if there's a message, we know that we're in a situation in our country that's not going away anytime soon. I don't believe that. We're going to evaluate this every quarter, but I really feel that in 2021, this is what we face. And so the question is, do we end our education? Because we already have gaps, we know that. Everyone should be honest. Now, our teachers, I congratulate them. They did everything that they could on remote. But we know, parents and students, that most of you were paying attention, but some were not. But also some subjects are extremely difficult to teach via the remote process. And so we need to come back to school. But we believe that not just the science, but we believe that because vaccinations eliminated polio from our environment, smallpox is not anything that we're concerned with. Measles, to a great extent, does not exist anymore because we have medications and shots and vaccinations. And so our teachers, and I'm ever so proud of them, we're 98% vaccinated as a group, 98%. So as you come in, you'll be surrounded primarily by adults who, no matter what was in their heads, because I imagine that some of the teachers had a little bit of fear. I know I was not feeling well for perhaps 48 hours, but then I felt fine. But every day I'm grateful that I did take both shots and I am fully vaccinated because it enables me to do some things that I love. I would never have done 12 Southland graduations and 24 162 graduations unmasked without being vaccinated. I just simply couldn't have done it. And so it makes life possible for us in a way that is normal, maybe the new normal, but in a way that's very close to being normal. But one of the things also that we're going to do on August 24th, Dr. Richard Watson will be here. And as you know, he's been here 5 times. He's one of the reasons because he encouraged us. He explained what was in the various vaccines. He talked about the Pfizer, talked about the Johnson & Johnson, talked about Moderna. And so he gave us the confidence, I believe, to go forward and to be where we are now, which is almost fully 100% vaccinated. So we're going to offer to our students, and of course it takes your permission, on August 24th, Dr. Watson, as well as his nurses, will be here again. If you desire to make sure that your child is vaccinated, we're more than happy to do it here in-house at Southland. But as I said to the freshmen today, it's really up to each family, each set of parents. If that is not what you want, then we all continue in the way that we have. And we've been doing this for a year now. But something that's controversial, I just finished watching CNN and I saw people all over the country protesting about masks. I don't understand it. Here's my mask. As soon as I finish talking to you, everyone's mask in this room. We've been wearing masks for the past year. And you know what? If you think about it, we kept ourselves safe before we had the vaccine. And all we did really was to social distance and wear a mask. But Mr. Lights, what has happened at Southland while we were wearing masks? Please.
flashlight from my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window, I flew like a flash. Threw open the shutters, threw open the sash.
Then what to my wondering I should appear, but a minute just lay in a tiny reindeer with a little low driver so lively and quick that I knew right away that it must be Saint Nick.
More rapid than eagles, his courses they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer, now Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen. To the top of the porch, to the top of the wall. Dash away, dash away, dash away, dash away
I think I need a little bit more help on that. But can we show you something we're doing to celebrate the Harlem Renaissance?
What? Oh, yeah, of course.
And would you mind joining in with us?
Don't mind if I do.
Thank you, Mr. Lights. Some of you probably recognize your own students, or if there's students watching, then you know that here in our annex, you performed at Christmas. You performed for Black History. You were here for our spring concert. You helped me with 35 graduations and on and on. So my point is, we did all of this mask. And if we can do all of that, and if we can persevere and survive and prosper for an entire year, then we can continue on with in-person instruction, and we can do it mask. And so I listened to all of the protests and all of the noise, and I'm not sure if it's political or what, but I do know that we believe in everyone who chooses to do so being vaccinated. I know that we're going to be 100% masked, no FedEx man, UPS man, no one comes within our environment that is not masked. I know that we have to be protective in terms of social distancing, and I have faith in those mitigations as we return to school. So I'm truly looking forward to this. But Dr. Levy, I think you want to share some information, do you not?
I do, Dr.
And
Davis.
you're wearing your Southland blazer, and this morning you were modeling your uniform for the freshmen.
Absolutely.
But you know what? These are seniors, so you don't really have to model it for them because they know.
Thank you, Dr.
You're
Davis. Good evening, parents. The purpose of tonight is simply to provide you with a little information and address questions that you may have. But first, allow me to introduce the senior teachers, Ms. Bartley, Mr. Ryko, Mr. Abbott, Ms. Assad, who is new to us this year, Ms. Gruzius, Ms. Laurie, Ms. Escalante, Mr. Goldman, Mr. Cheeseman, Mr. Zaire, also new to us this year, Mr. Labita, Ms. K. Waters, Mr. Harrigan, Ms. Norman, Mrs. Chapman, and Mr. Davis. I know some of you have already seen your schedules, but please be advised that you will be receiving your schedules on that first day. Students are expected to be in class ready to start the day at 7:45 a.m. The day will end at 3:30. All after-school activities will begin at 3:45. Parents, we are fully aware that a lot of students have not been in the building, and to get them back adjusted to the Southland way, we intend to go over the Southland handbook on the first day of school, so students can know exactly what will be expected of them. All students will be required to wear masks at all times on the bus and on school property. Students will not be changing for physical education for the first and possibly second quarter. All students will be required to be in full uniform. Students will also be required to wear their burgundy blazer, white collared shirt with a Southland tie for young men, which can be purchased here at Southland, tan or navy dress slacks with a belt, of course, and dress shoes, black or brown. If you have not contacted the COP Fire Shop for your blazer, the number is 708-845-5611. Again, 708-845-5611. If you have any further questions, please contact the main office. Up next, we have Mr. Evans, who is our Director of Technology.
Thank you, Dr. Levy. Good evening, class of 2022. Welcome back to the school year. We're so happy and so proud to have you guys back. Couple quick things about technology. One of the things we did differently, I know seniors had iPads last year. This year, you guys will be getting Chromebooks. We're going to go across the district all the way from K all the way up to seniors. So you guys are getting Chromebooks and brand new cases inside those Chromebooks. Or the Chromebooks will sit inside of the brand new cases. We want you guys to keep the Chromebooks inside of the cases. It's to help protect the cases and that investment that the district has made. The Chromebooks will already be loaded with your books. and all of the apps that you need to do or to use for your educational journey throughout the last year of your high school career. So having said that, one of the things we do want to reinforce as well is make sure that we do not alter the Chromebooks in any way, shape, or form. There's no software that should be loaded. If there's software that's missing, please reach out to your teachers and let us know, and we'll push them automatically to the students. So no stickers, no painting, no drawing. Also, if something happens to the Chromebook, please don't take it to your brother or your sister or any family member to get it fixed, or your local tech shop. Bring it to the district, to the school, and we will make sure that we turn it right back around to you relatively quickly. So we have all sorts of staff capable of fixing all sorts of things. We also have remote capabilities where we can remote in if there's an issue while you're working on your Chromebook at home, or your students working on the Chromebook at home or offsite somewhere. We can remote in also and address those issues. So we should be good to go. We're excited. When you come in day one, you'll get your Chromebooks. We're doing something a little bit differently as well with wireless. Every student will have their own unique wireless password that you should not share with anyone. It will identify that student on the network. So if your student gives that password away, we will know immediately. So, and it will not work. So it is only for that specific student. We will go over that more in depth and in detail when we see them on the first day. But again, welcome. We're so proud to have you back. We're excited and we're ready to go. Class of 2022. Dr. Davis.
Thank you, Mr. Evans. I'd just like to answer a few questions. One is about outside lunch. Actually, there are two venues now to eat lunch outside if you choose to. But remember that we live in an inclement climate. So even though for the next few months, you might want to go outside in the winter, certainly you would not want to do that. But outside of our commons, which is our main lunchroom, there is an area that is available to eat lunch outside. But now we have another area outside of our field house. We look forward to the furniture being, well, actually it's late. So I will say that I hope it will be delivered by Monday. That will actually be the senior area. I wanted to be a surprise, but I'll answer the question. And that is that we've provided an area for our seniors to eat, and it does involve what I think is going to be a beautiful outside setting if that's what they choose to do. I see also questions about transportation. Would you please put your name on the chat, because letters went out a week ago. And if we have your name, if you don't have not received a letter, then before I leave this evening, I will make sure that you do receive it. Other questions about performances. You know that we're very much into fine arts, and I really don't think, if we look back at the past year, there were so many things I think that did not happen that were not fair. And so something that's in my mind this year is to think of as many ways as I can make this senior year for you as normal as possible. So when I looked at the Christmas celebrations, what I decided to do is that we're not going to have one big, large celebration. We're going to have an evening where the dancers will be the sole entertainment. There will be an evening for the choir and a separate evening for the band. The arena that we have rented holds 1,200 people. If we seat 250 to 300, we can definitely social distance, but we can allow Mrs. Chapman and Mr. Davis to fulfill their dreams with their students, Mr. Harrigan and the band, and Mrs. Norman and Dr. Culp can do what they would like to do. But more than that, you deserve it, because there should be something for you to look forward to. But so Christmas is not the same, but Christmas I think is going to be even better as we have redefined it. Graduation is May 28th. And I don't want to promise, but I'm 90 to 95% sure that we can go to the Harris Theater, which is an extremely large place. This is a small class. I think we can social distance. I think we can have a beautiful graduation all together. And as I said, I'm not promising, but I'm 90 to 95% sure that we can do that. So that is Saturday, May 28th. And then we have rented the Odyssey Country Club for a prom on May 6th. I'm not going to promise that. I'm not going to promise that. We'll monitor what's going on in our world. Remember, a prom is a unique experience. It is something that I want you to have, but I'm not sure if we can do that. But we did rent the location, and it is the Odyssey Country Club. Now, the room itself opens onto a huge deck. It could be that we could redefine the concept of a prom, but I just want to share this information with you. But I don't want to say that I'm absolutely certain that we can do it, but we are looking at it. And what we're looking at primarily is to try to make your senior year a memorable experience where you're not thinking about COVID, you're not thinking about the pandemic. And years from now, when you think back, you'll think of the beauty that was your senior year at Southland. So that's my goal. That's all the questions I see. And Mr. Thomas, our athletic director, he's here. And what's new in athletics?
Thank you, Dr. Davis. Welcome and hello, parents and members of the graduating class of 2022. I have three things I want to talk to you about briefly. One is parking and driver's license. Two, athletics, clubs, and organizations. And three, your diplomas. First, with parking and driving. Many of you have your driver's licenses and you're able to park here, of course. This year, there will be no parking fee only for this year. However, before you drive, before you park, you must have a parking permit. To get that, you have a form you fill out and you turn that in, and it will show that you have proof of insurance as well as a driver's license. You can pick up the form in the office, and in fact, by Wednesday of next week, you have to have the form turned in before you drive by Wednesday. So of course, you may drive Monday or Tuesday if your parents allow you to do so. But you have to have your forms turned in before you drive after Wednesday of next week. Some of you are trying to get your driver's license. Just want to remind you, your driver's license takes three parts. The first part, the 30 hours of classroom instruction that you took and passed 2 years ago. The second part, 50 luxurious hours with your parents and you on the road. Your parents love that, teach you how to drive. And the third part, you must pass a 6-hour behind the wheel portion of your driver's license activities. And that comes from a school or a driving school that gives you those 6 hours. Has nothing to do with the parents, nothing at all. The 50 hours from the parents, that's completely different. Once you have your license, you too can apply for a parking permit. The second area I want to talk about is athletics, clubs, and organizations. You guys know almost every athletic team, almost every club that we have here at Southland. The sophomores, the freshmen, the juniors are all there. But each one of these things, athletics, clubs, and organizations, need senior leadership. Everything we do here needs senior leadership because you know the culture. You know how things must go at Southland. And you have been the leaders, and you need to continue to be the leaders this year. This year, we even have one surprise. What's your surprise, Mr. Thomas? I'm glad you asked. That surprise is this year, for the first time in the history of Southland, we have girls basketball. Now, we have a nice group of young ladies that want to try out and that have been here for a clinic this summer. But again, they also need senior leadership. A lot of you talked about basketball, and this is your chance. So when the basketball season comes around, we expect some of the seniors to lead these teams into action. That's very, very important. Same with clubs. We have the same clubs we've had and great clubs. Same with organizations. We have great organizations like the National Honor Society, like Interact. Those things need senior leadership. So we're expecting you guys to step up, step up, step up. The last thing I want to talk about is your diploma. My diploma, definitely your diploma. Starting sometime around November 1st, you will receive a sheet. That sheet is the sheet you will turn back in that tells us how you and your parents want your name to appear on the diploma. That's very, very, very important. I want you to start thinking about it. I know I said sometime around the 1st of November, but in these 2 months, I want you guys to come to a decision. This is how we're going to spell your name on your diploma. It has nothing to do with how your name is pronounced. It has nothing to do with how your name is read during the graduation ceremony. It has nothing to do with how your name appears on the wall during graduation. It only is how you want your name to appear on your diploma. With this group, it's going to start like around November 1st. We will expect all of those sheets back by November 15th. So think about it. If you have to, persuade your parents. Tell them you will wash the dishes for 2 weeks. You'll iron all the clothes if you iron clothes anymore. You will clean the house if they let you put your name on your diploma the way you wanted to. Parents have to sign off on it. That's very important. They have to sign off on it. So get together and think about it. So remember those 3 things: driving and parking, athletics, clubs, and organizations need your leadership, and how you want your name on your diploma. Thank you very much, Dr. Davis.
Mr. Thomas, we have a question on the chat.
Yes.
Are senior young ladies eligible to try out for the girls' basketball team?
Most definitely. We want you to try out.
Okay, all
We
right.
want you to
Well,
try.
that's your answer. That's your answer. Mrs. Rachel Ware is the president of our PTSO, and I do see her face. We've been together 4 consecutive nights, and I told her before we went live, we have to start meeting like this. But good afternoon, good evening, Mrs. Ware. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Good evening, Dr. Davis, and good evening, Southland family. I'm so excited to talk to our senior parents. As Dr. Davis said, my name is Rachel Ware. I have a sophomore at Southland right now, and last year I had a senior who graduated, and she's now at Stanford. She's actually there now. I talked to her today, having a good time. And so I'm just excited for you guys. Senior year was a roller coaster of a ride, and I love roller coasters, the ups, the downs. And I'm excited for the experience you guys are going to start this year. I would like to introduce the rest of our board. Jatan Anderson is our vice president. Nancy Brazil is our secretary, and Vanessa Dorr is our treasurer. So the main goals of the PTSO actually affect the senior class directly. Our number 1 goal is our PTSO scholarship. Last year, we were able to raise $3,000, and we were able to give out 5 scholarships ranging from $500 to $1,100. So this year, we would like to do the same. Raise at least $3,000, if not more. The more money we raise, the more money we give out. All of the money that we raise goes directly back to the children. The other thing that the PTSO does do is after prom. We have no idea yet what we will be doing for that. We have to take the direction of the school and the state and all of the COVID rules. But if it is allowed, it will be something that the PTSO will help sponsor. We get all of our PTSO scholarship through fundraising. Unfortunately, we won't be able to do the standard lunches that we used to do. So like last year, we are going to have to think outside the box. And our number 1 fundraiser for this year so far, October 2nd, we are going to do a clothing drive. So if each family could drop off at least 1 garbage bag of used material, generally used clothes, shoes, boots, we're going to collect it all, and then we receive money for whatever we turn in. Like I said, if each family just participates with 1 bag, it will get us to our first goal of $1,000. Our other fundraiser that we have planned for September is the Culver's dinner, I would say. Unfortunately, we're not able to do Fridays anymore, so it will probably be on a Tuesday, and that day will be coming out soon. But you come in, and then the PTSO will receive 20% of whatever you spend that day. So more information will come out with the location for the clothing drive, and more information will come out with the exact date for the Cobras. The other big thing I would like to do in November is, I don't know if you all heard of the Double Good popcorn. So we want to do the Double Good popcorn where a few people have done it. You order popcorn and it will be a PTSO branch, but the seniors, what we want to do is they will be allowed to have their own page within our page, which we will explain that better later. But the senior that sells the most popcorn will receive a brown trunk. So we already have a brown leather trunk valued at about $200. And that will be the prize for the senior that sells the most popcorn with this fundraiser. The fundraiser will be open to the entire school, but that will be our incentive for our senior class. Because once again, everything we do supports our senior class for the majority. Our meetings are every first Tuesday of the month at 6:30. They will all be virtual this year. The Zoom link will come out via email the day of or the day before. To be a member of the PTSO, it is a $10 per family membership fee. And then for the seniors who would like to participate in our PTSO scholarship, we ask for a one-time contribution of $100. Some of my seniors have been paying since freshman year. Some people do $25 a year. Some people did $50 last year, want to do $50 this year. But that $100 does have to be paid by April. For my senior parents, I recommend sooner than later because those senior fees just start to add up towards the end with all the different activities and things that they're going to want to do. You can Cash App us. We have a Cash App. It is Southland PTSO, or you can drop off any funds at the office. On both venues, please add your name and the student's name. And what it's for, if it's for the membership or if it's for the family contribution. I really look forward to all of the great things that we would like to do this year. Feel free to please like us on Facebook. That is one of the main venues where we will communicate and you will see the different things going on. And just feel free to reach out at any time if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, and good evening, Mrs. Ware. I have with me our Director of Special Education and Support Services, Mrs. Blissett. And actually, she's just given me some good news. And so, Mrs. Blissett, if the freshmen have 78 students that are vaccinated, what do you think the seniors will have for you? I don't know. Okay. Well, you know, if our building could at least, even prior to the 24th, be at 50%. So Mrs. Blissett and all the other things that she does, the kindness initiative, et cetera, but she is leading us forward to make sure that everyone is safe. And so I'm hopeful. I think more seniors than anyone else.
Yeah, I believe that. Good evening, Southland family and Southland seniors, class of 2022. I'm super excited to see you guys back in the building next week. I have to say that this class holds a special place for me because you are my first 4-year graduating class. I was with you when you were ninth graders, and I've seen you grow into now seniors and getting ready to graduate from high school. So you guys hold a special place for me. So I'm super excited to see you guys come back into the building. Most of you, I'm sure, if not all of you, already know who I am. And I'm Mrs. Blissett, Director of Special Education and Student Support Services here at Southland. So we are excited to have you come in next week. You guys already know, as always, we are here to assist you with whatever you need. This year we'll really be assisting you with those college applications and looking for colleges and having services at your university that you choose to go to. So I'm super excited that you guys, and I know you're ready to come back into the building and have fun for your senior year. This is your last year of high school. So I'm hoping that you guys will make it a great one. And we're going to see you in the building next week, bright and early on Monday. Dr. Davis.
Thank you, Mrs. Blissett. And she just returned from taking her own darling back to school. So she is now turning her mind and concern to your senior year and making sure that everything is as it should. But I do have with me Mrs. Stone, and I know everyone knows her because Mrs. Stone, you were so active during remote and hybrid, reaching out to the students, having group meeting sessions, sharing your ideas, sharing your wisdom too, and giving them guidance about what it is that they should do. So I know you want them to come back. Please welcome them if you would.
Good evening, seniors. I hope you're having a fantastic evening. We are super duper excited that you'll be returning here to Southland in the building. We are looking forward to you coming and getting ready for your awesome senior year. So I'm still here. I'm available to all of our seniors if you need to talk, if you need to sit down and just have some conversation, if you might be struggling with something, have some questions about your schedule, etc. I'm still here to service you and to support you. I wanted to give you a couple of tips that we can use to make our way successful this year. This year, we have a few things that I just want to mention to our parents to help us to have a successful year. First of all, we want to ensure that our students have great daily attendance. So attendance is very important, seniors. I'm telling you, there is so much that's going to be happening. You do not want to miss it. You do not want to catch up on the news. Of course, Mr. Lane has so much to share with you this year, and we certainly need you physically in the building. I know we kind of got comfortable with this COVID and the pandemic, but it's time to reacclimate and to readjust. And so we are looking for our seniors in the building every day, 100%, 7:45 to 3:30 on your post, excited and ready to go. We also want to encourage you to meet with your teachers. Parents, if you have questions about your students' grades and how they're doing within the classroom, we want to encourage you to reach out to our teachers. Of course, I am available as well, nothing but a phone call away. So you can call me at extension 4103. I'd be happy to assist you and happy to help you. So let's stay connected during the senior year. Again, so much information is going to be disseminated, and we want to ensure that you grab a hold of that and that you are on task and ready to get those assignments and those things completed. Also, parents, I know that we secured for our students a safe and a warm, welcoming study area at home. We want to encourage you to continue that. Senior year is extremely challenging, so much to do with classes and also college admissions. We want to provide a quiet, intimate space for our students at home so that they can continue to do well in those areas. And lastly, I'd like to encourage our parents to please stay abreast of our students' grades through PowerSchool. That is the #1 connection for you to know how your student is doing in real time. And so we want to encourage you to please stay connected in that area as well. Seniors, we are looking forward to your return. We are excited. We cannot wait to see you on Monday. So get your last few days of rest because it's showtime. Have a good one, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.
I like that, Mrs. Stone. It's showtime. Mr. Robert Lane, and obviously you know who he is. He's very tired, he shared with me, of Zoom conversations. What he would like is to be able to sit down in his office or in his new college center that you've never seen and have a real conversation face to face. But last year, as we closed the year, obviously we were 100% college accepted, but due to Mr. Lane's aggressive approach to raising every scholarship dollar he can, Southland sits on $250 million in scholarships that students have earned over the years. He has set ambitious goals for this year. I'll let him share them with you. But Mr. Lane, what is it that your expectation for this senior class? I don't.
Expectations always. All right. Well, good evening. Good evening to the class of 2022. It is wonderful to connect with our families again. It was a pleasure meeting with so many families this summer via Zoom. The good thing about the pandemic is it showed us new ways to connect. I had the pleasure of meeting and engaging with nearly 100 senior families over the summer. And I know that we missed a few, but don't worry, I have a little information for the few families that we did not get a chance to connect with. So great to see you all again. And I want to give a special shout out to many of the rising seniors who assisted and volunteered with our freshman academy this year. We took a new approach in working with our first year students and getting them acclimated to the Southland way. And I think I speak for all of our administrators that our first year students, our freshmen, had a tremendous first day. And that's due in no large part to what contributions our seniors played a role in being mentors and speaking very candidly about their Southland experiences. So if you are one of those seniors, big ups to you. And again, thank you for getting us started with a wonderful first day. Dr. Davis mentioned the class of 2021. We did it. It was a really challenging effort on behalf of our seniors last year, but our seniors had goals, our seniors had dreams, just like every one of our senior classes in the years that preceded them. And again, as Dr. Davis mentioned, yes, the Southland seniors collectively have amassed over $250 million since our inception, but we can accredit close to 60 million of that from last year's effort. Again, the largest senior class in Southland history in the middle of a pandemic, applying to college remotely from home, working through Zoom and Google Classroom to get things done, to manage their grades, to juggle their health, and to get accepted to college. They pulled it off. So they definitely set the bar high for the class of 2022. But also, most importantly, they've helped open the door, as many of the graduating classes have done for each graduating class that follows. This year, you heard our president of the PTSO speak boldly because, yes, her daughter is a first-year student at the illustrious Stanford University. I did get her picture, Mom, and I'm so happy to see that she's there already. But other students, other seniors, they are moving into Johns Hopkins University. They're moving into Spelman College. They're moving into Howard University. They're moving into Cornell. They're moving into the University of Illinois, Xavier University of Louisiana, University of South Florida for the first time, the illustrious Ivy League Brown University, Duke University, the University of Chicago, Clark Atlanta, Emory, and so many more. The class of 2021 is enrolling in a record 66 different colleges around the nation, and they are ready to welcome you in their footsteps. So how will we get there? The good news is, as Ms. Stone has already alluded to, we're going to have lots of conversations. We're going to have our legendary senior family meetings. And of course, the class of 2020 and 2021 are insanely jealous of you guys because not only will you have your senior year here in person, Dr. Davis, I understand there's going to be a senior eating section. There's like a special area where the seniors are eating. You guys are going to have your own gym and field house. Mr. Thomas, we'll have our first senior nights actually at home. We're going to have seniors lead our first ever women's basketball team. I know Mr. Lights will be participating in the staff versus student basketball game. So if you want to dunk on Mr. Lights, you're going to have the first opportunity in years, and we'll be able to do it at home. There are so many alumni who are super jealous of the class of 2022. And the word on the street is we'll be releasing at 3:30. Unbelievable. And our hope is that with that early release, as Mr. Thomas spoke to, it's a great opportunity, not only for senior leadership, but to get involved. You've been at home for 18 months. By getting out early, this is one of our designs. So it gives you more opportunities to get involved and still get home at a reasonable hour to deal with all the coursework that our senior instructional team will bring to the table. I'm sure, as you already know, senior coursework is no laughing matter. We are not a 1 foot out of the door institution. Our senior team is going to make sure you're well prepared for college. So it is going to be a fantastic year. Again, you're going to have probably the most special year that I can think of in our history for our seniors. And it's all up to you and what you choose to do with it. Our next steps are very simple. We're going to hit the ground running because as you heard from me with our senior family meetings, we did not want to do as much as we traditionally have in the summer because we did need time to unplug. We did need time to unwind. We did need to get time away to reflect, to recharge, and to get prepared for coming back. But when we come back next week, we will begin day one in your digital technology classes. Mr. Zayer and I will be working with you. We'll be beginning Naviance training. For those who met with me this summer, you know what that is. And for those we didn't get a chance to meet, we will get you all abreast on that. But Naviance training begins week 1. Our college visits, we're going to have 45 institutions meet in person and virtually, and those visits will begin week 2. And also week 2 will begin getting you acclimated with a common application. Again, a lot of these things are things that we discussed over the summer. And I want to make sure for every single family who did not have an opportunity to meet with me and the counseling team, you can mark your calendars for August 21st. On that Saturday, we will have an open Zoom call where any and every family who wants to chime in and ask questions and get prepared for this year, you will have that opportunity. That invitation will go to all seniors on the first day. And so parents, make sure you are engaging with your seniors to get this information. But we will provide that opportunity for any family that didn't have an opportunity to meet this summer. And if I did meet with you this summer and you just have more questions, it is an open call for any senior families on Saturday, August 21st. Okay. Parents, just a quick reminder, and I'm sure the PTSO will send many reminders as well. Mark your calendars for October 1st. October 1st is when the window opens for the FAFSA, otherwise known as a free application for federal student aid. And as I've really implored to our families over the summer, if you have not completed and filed your 2020 income taxes, this is something that you really need to close out in the next few weeks, because our goal is that 100% of our senior families are in a position to file the FAFSA on October 1st. No senior, not one, will receive any funds, scholarships, loans of any type if a FAFSA is not filed on their behalf. So if you have not filed your 2020 taxes, that is the one to-do item that we would implore that you start taking care of now. And for those who are not interested in paying your taxes, it's okay. You just have to file your taxes, all right? You don't have to necessarily pay them. But let's just make sure that it is filed, because this year they have renovated and rehabbed the FAFSA form. And the word on the street is that if you have filed your taxes electronically, it will take less than 20 minutes to complete your FAFSA this year. So we are really excited for that. Parents, that is our one ask of you. And for seniors, I only have one ask as well. Ms. Stone mentioned it. We need 100% of you here on Monday. We need 100% of you here every day. We need 100% of you present at Senior Family. There will be important information disseminated every single morning. And if there's one thing you'll learn about Mr. Lane, I do not like repeating myself. So let's make sure that we're at Senior Family, that we get this information so that you can bring home the dreams that you have for yourself. The class of 2021, $54 million. What is in store for the class of 2022 with us in person? The sky is the limit. So we're really, really looking forward to what we can accomplish this year. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to email me. And again, be on the lookout for that Zoom invitation for all families who are interested on August 21st. Looking forward to seeing you Monday. Go Eagles.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lane. All right, tomorrow, the sophomores come in. Monday will be a wonderful day when our juniors and seniors return to Southland. What I often think is, who are we without you? And the answer is, Southland cannot possibly define itself. Southland cannot possibly be anything other than an empty building, an empty shell. We define ourselves by our students, and no one has a greater impact on who we are and our destiny and our goals than the senior class. And so I look forward to seeing you bright and early on Monday morning. Thank you and stay safe.